to Chitkara University. So I am very much happy and delighted to be here. So I would like to thank Dr. Abhishek and Madam for inviting me here and sharing my knowledge with you. I would like to thank Professor Sanjeev Manas and EICT Academy for collaborating with Chitkara University and organizing this FDP event. Though I am associated with this EICT Academy for a long time, I think from this beginning. So I am involved with them organizing several events as well. But this time I am here only for delivering one lecture. Uh, yeah, I would like to thank again all of you for spending some time and listening to this lecture. Thank you very much. So I am Partha Pratim Roy, Associate Professor from Computer Science and Engineering. I am associated with different journals like IIT Image Processing, Biometrics, IIC, Transactions on Information Systems, Stringent Nature, Computer Science as Associate Editor. I am also involved with many conferences as organizing chair and program chair. Uh, my session will be on introduction to EEG and its applications to cognitive workload analysis. So I'll tell you, okay, so what this means, okay. But during the session, if you have any doubts, please raise your hand and interrupt, because if I just continue without making any sense, that doesn't matter. Okay, so I do not want like this. So if you have any difficulty anywhere, please stop me. You can drop me mails at patho@cs.iitr.ac.in anytimes if you want to collaborate for any publications or research. You can visit my website parimal.iitr.ac.in. So this is my website. Okay, I think it's this is my website. So you can see the students, people's projects, publications, all details are there. Okay, so anytime you can visit this site and get some details about me. I have presently 9 PhD students working in different areas of machine learning and pattern recognition. So the lab name is Parimal. It's the short form of pattern recognition, image processing, and machine learning. Some students are working on cognitive analysis using this EEG. I have some projects also from DRDO, MEITI, NIC, National Informatics Center, and Japan. So in which I am working in different areas of machine learning. So EEG, it's a kind of brain computer interface. Okay, so we have heard about human computer interface. So human computer interface, for example, you might have seen this sign language recognitions or automatic slide control. So like you have some sensors and then you move your hand and then accordingly the slides are moving. Okay, so or for example, you are blinking something and then according to your events, blinking events, some slides move. Okay, so these are human computer interface. Similarly, there is an area, it's called brain computer interface, where we do the automation using our imagination or visualizations in mind. So for example, if I'm happy or sad, can I understand using my brain signals? Okay, and then if I'm happy, then some events will happen. For example, like I want to watch some movies, like recommendation systems. You might have seen these recommendation systems in Amazon or in movie, that if you are watching some movies, then similar movies are coming. So similarly, if you are happy, then some comedy movies will come. If you are sad, some other movies will come. Okay. So it depends on your cognitive states. So how we can correlate this cognitive state of human brain and our work, okay, our uh, activities. So when we think or imagine, so our brain is active. Then there are several parts. You know that in brain there are billions of neurons which actually transmit information from one neuron to another neuron. So for example, if I am touching some hot water, immediately I will pull my hand. Okay, so some signals are going from my brain to my finger. So some signals are coming from brain always. Okay, so even if I am sleeping, that time also some signals are coming. So it's like some people are in depression. So their cognitive state is different from normal people. So we could analyze that what is the state of that human. So there are some biosignals, some uh, neurosignals or neuron informations, and there is a computer program, software programs, which will analyze these signals and it will predict whether it is a happy state or sad state, something, right? For example, if I'm thinking that okay, I want to switch off the fan, I'm just imagining I'll switch off the fan and immediately the fan will be switched off. If I am imagining the fan will be on or the doors are closed, the doors will be closed, and then my software program, will analyze my signals and understand that okay, so now he is thinking of closing the door, and then it will off. Okay, so it's like smart city, smart room, and it's doing automation, but there are activities beyond these automations. Now you'll see in this private hospitals or government hospitals like AIMS, people are working with this brain signals for different kinds of brain disease analysis. Okay, so they are working with epileptic seizures, then they are working with depression, mental workload, stress, okay, many different diagnoses. So I'm just showing you one video here just to understand that how this brain signals we can capture. Here, this video, you see that one guy is just blinking. Okay, there is a sensor which is connected to his forehead, and when he is blinking, that time that signals from the brain goes to the software, and the software understand that he's blinking, and accordingly a motor moves. Okay, so you see again. Yes, no. Audio is not coming, right? Okay, so he is blinking and then motor is running. Now I'll show you several other videos also to understand more details of this BCI. So there are different kinds of BCI sensors. So for example, you have this fMRI, MEG, different kinds of sensors, and some of you have already worked. Okay, so for example, like fMRI or MEG, there are volumes of images in 3 different dimensions where we work with this image processing or video processing techniques to understand if there are some disease like tumor or other kinds. But these devices are very heavy. These are very expensive and the maintenance cost is very high. Whereas now there are some sensors called electroencephalograms. In short, it is called EEG, measures the activity of the similar kind of informations. Okay, so it understands the activities of the neurons in brain and shows you the activity. So thus the signal actually shows you the activity. For example, if you are saying to the Alexa device, okay, so play this music. So you are saying something and it does activity. Similarly, in this EEG also, you get the signals. So there are electrodes which are connected. Okay, so some wearable device which are connected. It's like a headset. Okay, and these electrodes, there are different kinds of devices. Some devices are coming with 2 electrodes. Some devices are connected with 32 electrodes. Some devices are coming with 256 electrodes. Okay, so there are more dense. Sometimes some are light. So if it is one electrode or 2 electrode, that it costs maybe 6,000 to 7,000 Indian rupees. If it is 232 or 256, it will cost 2 crore. Okay, so that's the range. So the devices, okay, so you have these electrodes, this measure the voltage difference at the skull and understands the neuron activity. So for example, some neurons are active in those regions or not. So at some area, the whatever neurons are there, those will do that work. Okay, so for example, you know this when we are watching some movies, so our vision part of the brain is active, and that time those neurons in that vision part will be in transferring the informations through neurons, and we can capture those neuron activities or signals and understand what the human brain is thinking, whether it's happy, sad, by watching this movie or not. So you have this MEG fMRI device, and you see that in these devices you have actually this I was saying this videos of XYZ directions, and in these videos you see that these are actually showing the oxygen flow, okay, in the brain, and based on those activity we understand that in which part there are some tumors or some other problems. Now another BCI, okay, video. Here you see that this guy is doing 3 different activities. Jaw clenching, then blinking, closing eyes. And his signals will be different according to his activity. So he is doing some muscular events, activities, and accordingly, the EEG signals are different. So let us consider that if we get the signals, then can we understand the other part? Okay, so when he is blinking, when he is jaw clenching, when he is closing. So it is like a signals, and we want to understand his activity. So here he has done some muscular events, and we are getting the signals. And from these signals, we want to understand what he is doing, what is his uh, activity, okay, or maybe internal problems. Those signals can be understood from this signal. So this is the pattern recognition problem or machine learning problem. Like if I'm having a speech signals, okay, or handwriting recognition problems or video, okay, so these are the signals. From these signals, we try to understand what is the main activity or scenarios are happening. So this is the engineering one. Okay, so we have these signals and we want to understand which activities happen, okay, and where, right? Is it okay? So there are 2 different kinds of devices which are used for EEG analysis. Some are invasive, some are non-invasive. Invasive used to be done before, where these were implanted in the brain, okay, surgically. But nowadays there are many different kinds of devices which are non-invasive, that I was saying. Okay, so this you do not need to have any surgery or implantations. Just you wear those wearable this headset, and then you get the signals. So the GUIs, these GUIs are coming with those headset itself. So you do not need to develop the software. You will, whenever you will procure these kinds of devices, this company, they will provide you the GUI, and then you will get the signals. You can get the raw data, raw signals. You can get the raw signals, and then what will happen? You will analyze those signals, like it's signals like ECG signals, EEG signals, speech signals, and you need to understand what is the activity, right? So now I show you another video which we collected from our lab. So this is a device of, I think, 132 channels. Okay, so we procured with 75 lakh. Okay, from a project. And here you have this. These are the electrodes which are connected. It's actually gel. It's not injections. Okay, and gel just to make the connectivity weight. Okay, so that we get the signals better. Whenever the electrodes are connected, you will see this green. Okay, so green connections. So this GUI comes with those device. You do not need to develop anything, right? So this device, this software comes with the system. And whenever you see this, the sensors are connected, these electrodes are connected, these are the different connections, how many, whatever channels you have. So if you have two signals, two sensors, you will get only two signals. So according to the number of channels or number of electrodes, you say the number of channels or number of electrodes, same. So if you have 32 channels, you will get 32 signals. Now, here we connect one or two electrodes. So you'll get signals like this, okay? So you see that in one signals, one electrode, I think it's not, audio is not coming. Oh, you are, okay, so you are, but यहाँ पे नहीं आ रहा है ना? हाँ, वीडियो में ऑडियो है. अच्छा. Yeah, so if you are watching the video online, then you can get the signal, but here it's not coming. No problem. Okay, so I'm telling you. Okay, so what happens? So here, yeah, you can share. No problem. It's already shared. Now it's coming, right?
Responding to F4 electrode.
So my student, he's
So
collecting
these are
the
the
data.
signals when he is not blinking.
So
And
when
this
he
is
is not
corresponding to
blinking, so
F4
the signals
electrode.
are very much shallow.
Blink.
Okay. And then when he asks the student to blink, you see the signal is changing. Okay. So there is a high amplitude. Okay. So this
Now
the
don't blink.
difference between this peak and valley is very high when he is blinking. Fine. So when if you have a device of 64 channels or 132, it's very expensive, that I was saying. So when it's not useful for practical applications. So when you will have a device for only one or two channels, that means that cost only 6 to 20 lakhs. Then you have to connect it selectively. Either you will connect it in the forehead, or you will connect it into the occipital lobe. Okay, so you know that in the brain there are different parts: frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and these parts are active for different kind of activity. For example, frontal lobe is active for problem solving, emotional traits, reasoning, speaking. Occipital lobe is active for vision and color perception. So if you are connecting your electrodes or channels, okay, so for in the occipital lobe, you will get the data when he is visualizing something. So EEG is used for different kinds of activities in healthcare domain, like brain tumor, stroke, sleeping disorder, epilepsy, brain death, and depressions, and many things. So beyond that, EEG is also being used for different other activities like neuromarketing, emotion detections, gaming, security, wheelchair control, mouse movements, etc. For example, neuromarketing, whether I am happy with this lecture or not, when I'm exploring some products in Amazon or Flipkart, whether I am happy with the products. So my EEG signals will tell me that whether I am happy or not. So I do not need to write any comments. I do not need to say whether I like or dislike in Facebook. If my brain signal will say, okay, my brain signal will reflect my inner emotion. So it's more accurate than this physical review comments. For example, if I'm asking you, okay, can you give some review comments of my lecture at the end? Then you say, okay, so Sad is coming from IIT Roorkee, so it might be a very good lecture, even you do not understand. Okay, then you give 5 out of 5. Okay, but from it's not actually, it may not be the correct rating. But if I'm asking, okay, so if you wear the headset and then I'm collecting the data, I'll see that, okay, some of you maybe were sleeping, you were wandering somewhere, and then I'll see that it was the actual reading. Okay, so that's actually neuromarketing. So now it is more popular. So when I'm going for example, some advertisement, okay, some advertisement companies are coming and then they float some advertisement. Whether those advertisements are good, okay, they are attractive or not, so you can understand them using neuromarketing. You can understand human motion, emotion, with the emotion detection, understanding whether he is a happy, sad, or fear. Then you can also you can also do controlling with in game. You can do this security authentication. For example, we are doing this registration for our Aadhaar card with the face, then IDs, fingerprints. Can we also do this authentication using our brain signals, whether our brain signal is unique or not? So can I just register using my EEG signals and later I can verify or validate myself using EEG signal? Is it possible or not? Okay, so that's EEG, security and authentication using EEG. Then you can also control wheelchair and then different other activities. So what we are saying, this EEG acquisitions, you have these different electrodes. From each electrodes, if you it's connected, then you will get the signals. And based on this, for each signals, you will get you have to do this pattern matching or machine learning activities to know that whether what activity you were doing or what muscular activities you did. For example, if I'm for the rehabilitation, okay, so whether my right hand is moving or left hand is moving, or my which finger is moving, my left leg, right leg, all these activities you can understand from this EEG. So I'm just giving you more details. Okay, so for example, if I'm collecting these signals with a 14 channel emotive device, it's actually American product, where you see that for each in each row, the number of data you'll see that 14. Okay, so each 14 electrodes are there. So 14 electrodes are giving you the data in timestamp 1. So for example, timestamp 1, every channel provides the data in every millisecond. Okay, so and this will be in microvolt range. So this is the timestamp 1, timestamp 2, timestamp 3, and like this. So if you are wearing the headset, for example, 10 minutes, you will get the data for 10 minutes. Okay, so for each timestamp. Then what you will see, so the activity, the signals will be something like this. Okay, and then when you are analyzing those signals, you'll see that someone, if is deep sleeping, then the signals will be very much of lower frequency. And then when someone is very active, excited, there will be lots of signals of high frequencies. So now if we are analyzing those signals, now we have understood that we have, when we connect this BCI device, we will get the signals, one-dimensional signals, and we have to understand these signals to do pattern recognitions, to understand what happened inside. So now we need to do this pattern matching or machine learning, right? So now if we have the signals, so we know that, okay, so there are, these are actually different signal processing or machine learning activities. Now, if I'm seeing that in the signals can be of 0 hertz to 100 or more hertz. So based on the noise, okay, so in environment also there could be some noise. So if you in the literature, people say that, okay, so you can divide the signals into these 5 different bands: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta. So if the signal is less than 4 hertz, that means it's a sleeping stage. If it is gamma or beta, that means he is very active when the signal is 14 to 20 or 20 to 60 hertz. So higher frequency means active processing, lower process frequency means it's very much you are actually quiet. So then you know that if you are in signal processing domain or pattern matching domain. So I'm not going into details because I will be talking more about applications and giving you more details of what you can do. So pre-processing stuffs, so like filtering, low pass filter by a band pass filter, high pass filter, and you can remove some noise. For example, you are giving the data related to your stress or for example, like emotion, then maybe you are moving your muscles. So there could be some noise. So you can remove those more noise using some filters. So you understood that how we can extract the features, how we can apply machine learning algorithms, right? Simple. And you do not believe, I got many publications, many very good journals, conferences with this work, simple work. You'll just read, okay, go through. I was not in this domain. Okay, I was not in this domain, but when I was working in Samsung, I understood that some were starting that time in 2014-15, that they were starting this with one channel device. And then I picked it up when I moved to Roorkee in 2017-18. I got numerous publications with this simple application this year. I did, I will show you, okay, different application with this simple machine learning. I just extract the features, do classifications, get publications. Getting publication is very, very easy using this EEG. You just collect the data, apply machine learning, you will get results. And many data sets are available online. This is not okay. So here I'm showing you some applications quickly, and then I will move to the cognitive analysis. So age and gender recognitions. Can I understand the from this EEG what is the age and gender of the person whose EEG are collected? Okay, so for example, I was saying that whether I'm in happy mode, sad mode, whether I want to open the door, I want to close the door. How will you do this experiments? Okay, so if you want to do the experiment yourself, how will you do that? So these are some experiments we did it in our lab. So this one is for age and gender analysis. So I'm collecting the data from different users. So we have how we can do that. So it's like a machine learning problem. You have to collect the training data and some testing data. Training data means you get the device, you ask them to sit properly, means relax mode, and then you get the data acquisitions, EEG data set. You do the pre-processings like I was saying, this band pass filters, low filters, all those. Then extract features, do some classification models like using SVM random forest, and then you have some testing data. You do the same process, you apply the model and get the results. So in this experiment, we had 60 individuals from 60 to 6 to 55 years and from different ages and different genders. And these are the distributions of those data, 6 to 10. We actually say different groups. You might see different smartphones now available that when you try to capture the photo, then it says that what is the age you look like. Okay, so you look like 23 or 27. So similarly, from this EEG also, you will be able to understand whether is a 6 to 10 age group, 12 to 15 age group, something like that. It's not a regression problem, but it's a classification problem. Okay, so we are just going for 6 class problems. It's not a regression problem. So given some EEG data, we'll just say that whether is from which group, C1, C2, 266. And some results. You can read more details, okay, in this papers. I'm not going through. So with some data, if I'm just using this alpha data, alpha band data, alpha band, beta band, you know that different frequency band. So if I'm analyzing this different band data, so I will have results like these are using SVM. Okay, so some 85, 90, 86 something. We can also use deep learning architectures. Okay, so deep learning architectures you will get it in these papers, EEG based age and gender prediction using deep learning, deep LSTM, BLSTM. So where we are using this architecture, we have this EEG data, we do some pre-processing, then BLSTM layer, dropout, batch normalizations, LSTM, batch normalizations, LSTM, batch normalization, and then lastly, you have this dense layers. So I'm not going into details. So we have this, if I'm using this LSTM, BLSTM layers architectures, so we will get the accuracy for I think gender recognition, it is 97.5. 97.5. Okay, so that means you give the signals and almost 98% I will be correct. But note that these data are collected in a controlled environment. Means I'm not saying that someone will wear this device and go to a market, I'm collecting the data and I will get 97. It's not possible. So still this EEG is working in a controlled environment. That means we ask the subject in a closed environment, lab, he will be sitting relaxed. There will be no stress. We'll be collecting the data and then we'll do the experiment. We'll get this results. So there are lots of work. Okay, so this is the futuristic. Okay, there are lots of possibilities, opportunities for in this direction that you can work and publish the papers. Now I'm showing another work, that is the neuromarketing, that I was saying, that this guy is wearing this headset and see different products in Amazon or Flipkart, and we try to understand that in which product he is interested, he likes or not. So we did experiment with these different 30 to 40 products, and they are different brands, and we did the similar this training data, pre-processing, and then feature extractions, and then classification models. And we have these results using this theta band. Okay, so theta band. So actually, I am also involved with this Patanjali. So Patanjali Research Board. So that director of this Patanjali, without seeing these signals, he was saying that you might be getting the results using this theta band. Theta band means those frequency of this theta band. And experimentally also, we see that this is actually valid. So that means whatever we are doing experiments, that using those their neurological or psychological behavior, that also can be validated that it is correct. Okay, so using theta band, we are getting around 70% accuracy. So these are all means when we are, if I'm saying that if you are using some electrodes just connected with the frontal lobe, then you will be getting 65% accuracy. If you are using the electrodes in occipital lobe, you will be getting 50, less than 50%. If you are connecting all the means, if you are very rich, you can get 128 channels device. Then you can use all the signals, and then because of those combination connections, you will get very good results. And the results are more than 70% accuracy. But I think using this deep learning, you will get better results. So it's an authentication using EEG. So I'm showing you just video and then I stop here. But you understand. Now I'll move to this mental cognition. So here you see that we have a mobile where I'm using this pattern. Okay, so S pattern or Z pattern to move. So the experiment is, if the person whose mobile it's the user, he might be registering, has to register uh, the mobile first, okay, with this EEG data. And if he is the genuine person, with the whenever he is making marking the pattern, that time we collect the data. So when he is making A or Z, that time whatever is the EEG signals, we try to understand that EEG signals, whether that person is the owner or not. If, for example, someone else uses the same pattern, for example, if I'm just keep my mobile and someone knows my pattern, and they can also open. But if I'm using this EEG signal, that it will not work if you only with the pattern. You have to use the EEG signals for authentication, like signatures or EEG data, okay, or this IDs, or for example, fingerprint. So we are using this EEG whenever he is making the pattern. That time, what is his emotional state? Okay, so whether he is the same user or not. If he is not the same user, maybe he is forging. So he will be might be having some other tension or stress. So that signal will reflect that whether he is the user or not, owner or not. Okay, let's come to this cognitive workload estimations. So that was my uh, focused work actually for today's session. I have some time, right? No. Okay, so what is workload? Yes, 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 yes. Right, right, right. Right, right, right. EEG cannot be fake, but yes, we may not get the signals properly. Maybe he is in under stress, okay, or maybe whenever he gave the data, he was very happy. Yeah, environment is it's possible. That's why I'm saying that these EEG experiments, these are all depending on the environment. So those data are collected in a controlled environment. Okay, so and with this, I have those paper. Right, 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 right. Same thing, exactly, exactly same thing. So you could analyze those data, okay, so that whether he is lying or not. So those more details will be found in these papers. So cognitive workload, okay, so cognitive workload estimations using EEG. So for example, if I am driving for a long time, okay, so I'll be under stress. So I want to know whether I am under stress or not. Okay, so for example, in a Ola Uber business, there are many drivers. They are driving for a long time. So it's actually a safety issue whether the passengers will travel in that with the driver or not if he is driving for a long time. Or for example, if I'm coming from a long distance and the driver is driving for a long time, so it's also very important that how much stress he is having. So he might be having some problems, family related, personal related, many things. So the workload can be defined as a physical or mental stress associated with a task or combination of tasks. So either it can be a simple driving task, or if he is driving and then he is also analyzing uh, his some money he has given and he is not getting. Okay, so there could be different problems. Okay, so types of workload, physical and mental. Physical workload related to um, physical activities. Mental workload measures by the mental stress and during the task. So how we can analyze those mental workload? So hello. So is it okay, all of you? Fine. Any problem anywhere? If you understand, if you do not understand, please interrupt. I can repeat. Is it okay? Thank you. So there are different kinds of analysis to understand this mental workload. So one is subjective. Subjective used to happen before, which is actually this rating based, that is NASA task TLX, NASA task load index. It's in short, it's called NASA TLX. Subject workload assessment techniques, what? These are basically subject based rating. So what it is, so you will be given a questionnaire at the end of a task, and then you will write or give some marks, and later those experts will understand those marks, okay, or your comments, and then they will analyze your stress, okay, mental workload. So these are all subjective. It used to happen before. Performance behavior of an operator when performing the task. Okay, so if I am asking someone, okay, so you do this work, you just watch this movie, and then I'm analyzing your workload. This is the primary one. Okay, primary task. So for example, here it could be primary task and secondary task. And then if I'm driving and then I'm asking you questions. So someone is driving and I'm saying that, okay, so can you tell me the multiplication of 23 into 7? Okay, so these are basically secondary tasks. So primary tasks, I can do the analysis in primary and secondary. Just give me 5 minutes, okay? So you have this physiological measures. Physiological measures, you have cardiovascular systems, respiratory systems, nervous system, and different ways we can do this mental workload analysis. Okay, so for example, cardiovascular, heart rate, blood pressures, respiratory systems, respiration, oxygen, nervous systems, brain activity. So brain activity actually we are working. Okay, so using this brain activity or EEG analysis, we want to understand this his stress. So it could be analyzed in, for example, in defense. So some soldiers, we have these projects on DRDO from DRDO. So where we are analyzing their workload. Okay, so using this EEG based systems. So EEG based, we are developing a EEG based simulations where he will be driving, and we have to understand his stress. Then brain control airplanes, and then so there are different data sets available. So many data sets are available. Just I'm telling you quickly. So these are SimCap experiments. So he has to, there are two parts. Okay, so he has to understand that whether some numbers are repeated in the second the right side as well. Okay, so these are the primary work, and simultaneously he will be asked some other questions. What is the driver name? What is your mate's name? What he is doing? Or what is the multiplication? So second, there are two multiple works, multitask will happen in this data set. Simultaneous capacity multitasking experiment, SimCap. There is another data set, it's called mental activity. So you have a instructions like some multiplications will be done, and you will be shown some calculations like 23 plus 42, and then you will be analyzing. And that time we collect the data, EEG signals, and then there will be some gap, break, and then again there will be, the user will be shown some equations, numbers like plus minus multiplication. Then he will be doing this calculations. We will analyze the signals, and then it will be repeated. Okay, so this kind of data sets. And then another task is in-back task. Okay, so where he will be shown some numbers, 1, 3, 5, some numbers, and he has to see that whether the same number repeated in the last slide. Okay, so I'm seeing the numbers one after another, and I'll check that whether the same number repeated. This is called one back. Two back means the number appeared 2 slide back. Three back means the number appeared 3 slide back. So when I'm increasing the number of slide, that means my stress, I have to remember many things. So that actually induce more mental work. So that's, I'm showing one other video. So for example, here you have some numbers are coming. Okay,
T.
so T, it's basically
D.
2. Okay, 2 vectors,
K.
and you see that it's a 3
P.
vectors. Okay, same numbers will appear. So that
H.
sometimes he has to say yes, no, yes,
P.
no. So if it
You
appears
see
3
that
times
this
back,
is really
that means
very
the
difficult.
number repeated. So you have this, you can do this experiment. These are already developed data sets. You have this race, ideal state means you are not doing anything. That time you collect the EEG data. Then you have some rest, one back. You do this experiment, you collect the data, 2 back test, then dual, one back means you do this, and in simultaneously there will be some other work. So some other work, like for example, you will see some A is coming, or B means where the symbol is there, whether it is in the right side, left side, some 2 or 3 tasks will appear simultaneously. Okay, so it's called 2 back, dual 2 back, or dual 1 back experiments. So when we have this EEG data, you know that we collect the EEG data, EEG signals, we'll be doing this deep learning, machine learning, and later the outcome will be 3 classes, either it's a low, medium, or high workload. Okay, so if you just do this classification, whether he is having stress high, medium, or low. So we are doing this experiment with this for the in-back test. So CNN, LSTM, different architectures. So we extract the features like MI, mutual informations, phase transfer entropy. So these details you'll get in those papers. So different kinds of features we extract from the EEG, and then we do this deep learning based techniques and see that what actually provides better results. So we have more details of this architecture, CNN, LSTM, deep learning. I'm not going to details. Just quickly, okay, some videos, 2 videos to understand that what actually happens. So he is driving. So these are all AR VR systems we also developed, virtual reality systems. And then when he is driving, some arithmetic calculations, some different questions will come, and he has to answer them. Okay. Okay, and then we are actually collecting the EEG data and understand whether he is in a low workload, high workload. Okay, so you understood. Now, this is another video. It's actually more real life output you will see. So you have to log in. And then when he is driving, here actually you will see this, what is the workload. Okay, so based on this, we are collecting the EEG data when he is driving. And then we understand from those, it's a visual appearance. Okay, they will not understand this physically, the drivers or this low level person, they will not understand those details. So you can understand them from this dashboard. So this is some other work for disease diagnosis. I'm not going into dataset. Okay, so the data sets are available. Many data sets are available. Okay, some data sets are available in our website, Parimal. So some, for example, that I was saying, this neuromarketing, that whether you are liking or disliking this, some, whether whatever you are visualizing, so can you understand that what he is visualizing? For example, I'm visualizing fan. So from these EEG signals, can you understand whether I'm visualizing fan or not? So in this data set, there are 30 objects. And based on this data set, on those images, or you have this EEG signals. These are all shared, and then you can do this analysis. And you have this also many data sets in Kaggle's. So conclusion, many research opportunities in software and hardware. I have just picked up some of this, and you can go, lots of work is there. And many applications are being developed these days. Healthcare authentication, neuromarketing, emotions are only few. And beyond that, you see that in AIMS, private sectors, healthcare sectors, people are working on those disease diagnosis. So I would like to thank all these organizations where I'm getting funds. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank again all of you for listening so patiently. Thank you very much, and thanks, madam and sir, for inviting me again. Thank you.